Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this watch or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly for pricing at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 50-piece limited edition from Bulgari, descended directly from a model designed and engineered by Gerald Genta. This is the Bulgari Octo Quadri-Retro Chronograph. This model is based on the Bulgari Gerald Genta Octo Quadri-Retro Chronograph of 2011, after which the model was no longer co-branded Genta and Bulgari. It became what you see here, and this was a 50-piece edition that was exclusively Bulgari branded. Now, the watch has a ceramic bezel and a steel case. The steel case is 45 millimeters in diameter, 15.2 millimeters thick, and 50.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. And although it does include a custom strap, if you wanted, you could get any 31 millimeter strap to fit in between the lugs. You would need to ensure that it fits the end piece, but you could get a custom-made strap. It is otherwise a conventional 31 millimeter lug spacing. The strap is very substantial. It's bolstered to give it thickness. It's a semi-gloss, large rectangular scale, black alligator leather strap with a monotone stitch, a broad folded edge, calfskin on the bottom. You can see it is a brand new Bulgari factory strap, cav on the bottom, gator on the top, no gouging, no crimping. This is a sports watch, believe it or not. It is 100 meters water resistant, and so we have a double deployant steel clasp, and it is a trigger release, so it can't pop open accidentally. The steel clasp, which you can see is partially skeletonized, is designed to keep the watch on your wrist during vigorous activity. Now, of course, Bulgari purchased Gerald Genta and Daniel Roth, they were one company, from the Hourglass back in 2000, and the Octo shape was created that year. So the original Octo watches were Gerald Genta branded. From 2010 to 2011, Bulgari started co-branding the Genta watches as Bulgari Gerald Genta Collection, and after that, they phased out the Gerald Genta nomenclature. The watch, of course, proves that you can inherit a good thing and continue to evolve the species, and that's exactly what Bulgari did. So this basic model came out co-branded in 2011, and then afterwards it would just be branded Bulgari. But the basic movement dates back to the 2000s, and the case dates back to 2000 itself. So taking a quick look, you can see that the Octo case, we know it well as the Octo Finissimo today. The standard Octo is still available, though this model is not. You can see it is steel, satinated and polished with a combination of facets and even a few curves, and that's most evident on the bezel, which is ceramic. You can see that there is a brushed finish on the top of the bezel, but then the sides, especially the underside, you can see that there's polishing along the edge as an accent. We also have polishing of the chronograph pushers, and we have this beaded crown design that dates back to the 80s on Gerald Genta watches. We have a real piece of onyx, which is the cabochon inside the crowns. It's a piece of black onyx. And then you can see that the watch is remarkably handsome and kind of stealthy. You might not notice at first glance that it's a chronograph because the pushers are so well integrated, and our brains aren't programmed to expect by retrograde chronograph hour and minute registers. The dial is something special. First, take a look. The bezel as well as the sapphire are both circular, but the bezel inboard, the actual inner face, is faceted just like the shape of the Octo case. Now we have a seconds track outboard for reading your chronograph seconds and fractions of seconds. We have a retrograde minutes display, and then we have a retrograde date display. The dial is a work of art. It's champ-levé, which means, as with enamel, Bulgari first engraved the little wells, all the features, things like the track for the date, the track for the hours, the track for the minutes, all of that, even these little individual wells for the tens of minutes, they were drilled into the dial and then finished out by hand. They are then filled with lacquer in a multi-step process that involves adding black, red, and clear lacquer, buffing and curing at each phase. And so you build up by hand these lacquered wells in black or gloss red through a hand hand finishing process that ends with curing to preserve the finish. So this is a Champ-Levé dial. We have a bi-retro system here for the chronograph with the hours and the minutes, but also for the date and the minutes of the day. So here's your jump hour. That's the time of the day. We have the minute scale. There's a little pusher outboard, so if you don't want to change the minutes, but you want to jump the hour, you push that trigger and it will preserve the minute display, but it will jump the hour indicated. The crown, though push down, is 100 meters water resistant. I'm going to show you how the system works. You adjust and it jumps. Just like that. It's very simple, very user-friendly, and a lot of fun. Now you also have a quick set system for the bi-retrograde date. So if you need to rapidly set the date, you can. There are lovely sectors built into the little gadroons etched into the dial for the date track, as well as little sectors like grills on a car for the minutes track. Now the watch, of course, is powered by a base that is produced by Frédéric Piguet. They call this the Potter Gold finish at Gerald Genta. And you can see that the only part of this watch that remains Gerald Genta branded is the rotor on the movement. There's also a Gerald Genta reference number on the movement. So let's talk a little bit about what this movement is. It's a Frédéric Piguet 1185, best known as a Blancpain, vertical clutch, column wheel automatic. It is finished with a lovely gold gilding and engine turning on the rotor as well as every bridge. Now you can see that there's nice beveling on the edge of these bridges, so this is haute horlogerie finish. All screw heads are black polished, there's engine turning literally everywhere you look, and satination on the wheels. 37 joules. It's a combination of the modules for the jump hour and the retrogrades, including the chronograph. It is a unidirectional winding movement with a 40-hour power reserve. It doesn't have hacking seconds, but it does have a quick set date. You can see the column wheel, which makes for crisp operation of the chronograph. And then there's a vertical clutch, which allows for smooth, seamless engagement of the chronograph. Another advantage of the vertical clutch, in addition to the fact that it doesn't jump when you start it, is the fact that you can leave it running full-time without any additional wear and tear on the movement. The movement beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. And as you can see, it is adjusted for hot, cold, and in 5 positions. So that is a chronometer level of adjustment, the 5 position plus hot and cold. It's beautiful. It's highly refined. It is a high horology movement extensively modified by Gerald Genta, both aesthetically and through the modules mechanically. This is a very special watch, and you'll never see one again. Honestly, this is the first I've encountered in 7 years. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Back with one last note, let's do a quick wrist chat. What you need to know about this watch is it's huge. You can see that the strap flares, and when you've got a watch that's already this large, that means it's only going to fit a huge wrist. On my wrist, it's overpowering. Let me pull my sleeve back so you have a better sense. This is a watch that demands a wrist of at least 17 centimeters circumference, preferably 18. You can just see how stiff that strap is. You've got to be a big bear of a man to wear this thing. And you can see how much that strap's flaring out around my wrist. The case itself is not huge from lug to lug, but the strap is what determines the fit, nor is it exceptionally thick. You just have to remember, this thing is going to fight you unless your wrist approximates the arc of the strap and case combined. I thought I should throw that in because fit comes first with this particular watch.